stress that we're put through. I mean, Chef Ramsay is no cupcake in the kitchen.
Hey, Travis Hasenkamp's 22.2 seated with hip. We have, you can see that, 44-pound kettlebell, 44-pound kettlebell, and we are about 30.5 inches across. Okay.
The 2021 Noble CrossFit Games semifinals are presented by U.S. Army. What's your warrior? Find out more by visiting GoArmy.com. Noble, just the horns.
Wait, ready?
Have you got whatever it takes? 4. Personalized scientific wellness. And CrossFit training. Level up with the CrossFit Level 1, now accessible online.
The 2021 Noble CrossFit semifinals are presented by the U.S. Army. This is the Granite Games in the TCO Stadium at the Viking Lake Sport Complex in Eagan, Minnesota. I'm Chase Singham. Alongside me is Tommy Marquez and Derek Forrest will be joining us shortly. The teams are done, and it'll be the individual men taking on one of the more interesting and exciting events here on the individual side. But after 2 events on day number 1, we have our top 10 men. That line, red line designated the 5th and final qualifying position. But Anthony Davis, what a day he had on day number 3.
Oh man, I think everyone had that one rep max snatch event circled for Anthony Davis, knowing his background in weightlifting. And he certainly did not disappoint. I mentioned earlier that the heaviest athlete on the Minnesota Vikings squad is a lineman that's 340 pounds. Well, Anthony Davis snatched 340 pounds, so we just took an NFL lineman and flung him over his head. But then he backs it up with a performance of thruster run 3.0, highlighting some impressive capacity running and winning his heat, another top 5 finish. And then suddenly everyone's kind of has their eyebrow raised, like, okay, he's not just the strong guy, he's got some capacity in other areas.
Well, he does have some work cut out for him when you look at this event. This is individual event number 3 presented by the U.S. Army. And the big thing out there is those muscle-ups for Anthony Davis. How are those going to be?
Yeah, that's a big question. 9-7-5-3, muscle-ups, hang squat planes, burpees over the bar. Those are essentially buy-ins for each round. And then you have to get the sled push finished in the remaining time.
Your late assignments by CBDMD. This is your first heat of 3. What's important for these later heats is actually what they'll be able to watch going down, because there's so many different ways to take on this event.
2. 1.
Heat number 1, individual event number 3 for the men. We'll start with a 2-minute clock with a buy-in of 9 ring muscle-ups, 9 hang squat cleans at 185, and 9 burpees over the bar. And in the time remaining, we have those new torque sleds out on the competition field as they will try to push that torque sled forward for 50 yards in that 2-minute time frame.
And as you can see, all of these athletes are going unbroken on the muscle-ups. Probably going to go unbroken. I'd be very surprised if they did on the hang squat cleans. And really it comes down to cycle time. You know, if everyone is not going to put the bar down, not really going to come down to the rings, how fast can you run through these reps and the burpees in order to give yourself enough time to push that sled, because there's not going to be much room to differentiate otherwise.
Approaching the 1-minute mark, 9 lateral burpees over the barbell. Once they complete these 9, we have the torque sleds waiting for them on the field.
And not just the torque sled plus a little bit extra.
Just a little extra.
You know, because 3 levels of resistance wasn't enough. That's just slapping a little bit deep ball on top of it.
First to the sled, you got a race between lane 3 and lane number 5 between Grant Belrose and Gunnar Reagan. So they have 30 seconds to go. The one unique thing about the torque sled here is not just the D-ball, but the other twist is where their hands have to be on the sled.
Yeah, we saw the torque sled show up in the Deadlift CrossFit challenge, but they were able to utilize those prongs coming up from the sled. Here they have to have their hands on the low bar. What that prevents is being able to lean the center of your mass into those prongs coming up out of the sled and let your arms dangle and rest like we saw Team Craig Toomey. So taking away one of those little tricks in the trade that we saw show up in week 1.
They let a 1 minute reset, and as the athletes walk back to the ring, I want to say a huge thanks to our friends at the U.S. Army. What's your warrior? Find out more by visiting GoArmy.com. Now this event is a takeoff of the 2-2-3, 2-2-2-3 intervals we saw in 2017. We had the rope climb, ski board, and overhead squats down the floor.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest workout to actually say out loud because of the
It takes me two to three times to get it right.
But really, what it is an interesting exercise in pacing and trying to pick that proper strategy and make sure you can get enough work done in each interval and recover in the very short time frame that you have to walk back. Remember, the distance of the transition grows the further the sled gets away, so not only do you get a little bit of extra time because the range goes down, then they have to do 7 of each this time, but you also have time for the transition to each round as well. It's just all the little different nuances that come into this programming. Also considering that there's a few athletes that are going to approach the turnaround point, and now you have to pull it backwards, which is an entirely, I guess, different burn on the legs altogether.
Second 2 minute interval, starting with rounds of 7 ring muscle-ups, 7 hang squat cleans, 185 is the weight on the bar, into 7 lateral burpees. Their sleds all over the field in different spots. We talked to some athletes that did this event in testing and said the round of 7 is really that make or break round, not just for the difficulty of the movement, but maybe your spirit for the event total.
And by athletes, we mean you tested it, and then I scaled it.
And I mean, it brought me pretty good.
And exactly, I had to scale it, and still, like you're right, Chase, that round is 7, where everybody probably a little pumped full of adrenaline to finally get off the competition floor here, and they attack that first round to 9, as we see Jake Marconi, one of those athletes, out early. But really, around 7, you're getting about, 4.5, 5 minutes into it. That initial adrenaline dump starts to wear away, and the full gravity of what's ahead of you starts to set in.
Jake Marconi has moved into the lead. He was first to the torque sled. He's the bottom part of your screen in the dark gray. And now they will pull up the handles and do a back pedal with the sled. Marconi first to the 50-yard mark, pulling on his heels just above him or below him in lane number 3, Grant Belrose. As we have just 5 seconds left in this 2-minute mark. Now the question was, could anybody finish in that third set of 2 minutes? And Marconi has set himself up very well for this third set coming up.
Round of 9, right?
He's able to nearly get halfway down the field, and that already also had to push a little bit as well, with the reps decreasing down to 5. You can also see the way he's marching back to the limit there. You can tell the posture and the demeanor of an athlete who's confident and feeling good. Some of the other athletes taking their time, very gingerly walking over. Marconi marches right over with purpose, and he looks like he's probably going to finish this in 3 rounds.
Shout out to our friends at CBDMD. Visit cbdmd.com/CrossFit and use the code CrossFit for 30% off your order. So we're approaching our 3rd round. We'll go down to Jeff Forrest has a bit more for us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. You guys are talking about Jake Marconi, and now you're on the floor. Matt Fraser is coaching Jake Marconi right now. So you talk about that march back to the bar. I'm sure that has a ton to do with it. I asked him, what is he telling him? He said he's telling him all the trade secrets, guys.
Not a bad athlete to have in your corner. 5-time champ. Matt Fraser coaching you up.
He probably knows a thing or two.
Probably like, hey, do this. I'm like, I can't do that. Only you can do that. Round of 5, 5 muscle-ups, 5 hang cleans, and 5 lateral burpees with the bar. Your leader, lane number 2. Done with his ankle weights, Marconi is blasting through this third set.
3 left. 2.
This would be a huge boost for Marconi, who comes in at 27th right now.
Running to the torque side, and like you said, Tommy, a lot of confidence in between the rounds. That's a lot of confidence going into this third one. And with just over a minute, Jake Marconi has an opportunity to finish this event before he even has to get to the fourth and final interval.
1.
We were talking with some of the event organizers prior to this about whether or not they thought some of these athletes would be able to finish in 3 rounds. They're fairly confident based on the testing that they did.
And it finishes with a 50-yard sprint across the competition floor.
4.
And with plenty of time to spare, Jake Marconi sets the time to be unofficially right around 7 minutes and 26 seconds.
1.
Tremendous performance from Marconi, who's had some success in the open.
10 seconds.
Play number 3, Brent Belrose has 15 seconds across the field as well, so this could be 2 athletes who finish. And in lane number 9, he may run out of time. He has to cross the finish line, or he will have to do the muscle-ups, cleans, and burpees.